Hey guys, this is Tara and Brenton from Forza Tuning and Performance, and we are going to go through some of the questions you guys submitted on our social media platforms. I'm just going to read a couple off and Brenton's going to answer them for you.
This is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks on the road. And this is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks to the road.
We have the 1991 Ferrari Testarossa. We did the engine out timing belt service. Includes a timing belt with a water pump rebuild, checking clearances on the valve train. We assembled it, put new spark plugs, spark plug wires, went through the harnesses, and put the car back together. And then did our initial test drive to see how it ran. We found out that only half of the engine was running at the time. So we did a quick little fuel diagnostic and found that there wasn't enough fuel going onto the bank 1 side of the engine. And so we sent out the fuel distributor to get rebuilt and the full set of injectors out for service. And got all this back, reinstalled, and sure enough, everything fired up properly. We redid our test drive, and then we were having an issue with the transmission shifting. It wasn't shifting as smoothly as it should. So we made a couple adjustments on the linkage, went for a couple more test drives, and right now our result is a solid Ferrari Testarossa ready for its next 15,000 miles or 5 years, whichever comes first.
What's up everybody, it's Brenton Brown from Forza Tuning and Performance. And behind me, we've got a 91 Ferrari Testarossa. This car is done. We did a major service on it. So I figure kind of like go over a few little facts and stuff about the Testarossa. It's a 91, so it's a last year. They made these from 1984 to 91. They made quite a few of them, close to 8,000 cars. So Testarossa actually translates to redhead. In 1957, Ferrari had a Testarossa that was a really noteworthy race car, won a bunch of races and whatnot. The redhead does not refer to the color of the car, it's the rocker covers or the valve covers. It's red on all the Ferraris, just like on the old car. So when these came out, it was to replace the Berlinetta Boxer, which is kind of a problematic car. So they did a lot of revisions when they came out with this. This car is probably the most famous for like the louvers or the cheese graters or whatever you want to call them. Kind of funny thing is when they designed the car, they actually didn't have those on there. It was just like an opening. And the reason they have the opening is because the radiators are in both sides. The Berlinetta Boxer had overheating issues, so this was their solution to it. There was a lot of countries, including the United States, where it did not meet regulations at the time to have an opening that big in the side of the car. So the engineers came up with the cheese grater to accommodate for it. And it probably became one of the most iconic things about the car. You know, this was featured in Miami Vice, which was a popular show back in the 80s. Funny thing is, actually in the show, they started out using a fake Testarossa. It was a kit car made on a Corvette chassis. Ferrari did not like that, so they actually paid to have the two cars crushed and demolished. and donated them a real Ferrari Testarossa to use in the show. So when the cars first came out, they did look a little bit different than this. They had one side view mirror that was up high on the pillar. It didn't last very long. In some countries, they said that was a hazard to cyclists, so they changed it to its regular position, which is inboard. They had a real odd size wheel. They were all center, like knockoff wheels, but they were like 16.3 inches. So, you know, most wheels are 15, 16, so on and so forth. There was actually only one tire. It was called a Michelin TRX. They were really hard to get, very expensive, and a lot of the owners complained about it. So they ended up changing it to a standard 16-inch wheel like featured on this car and going with a regular 5-lug pattern. So aside from that, the car cosmetically didn't really look too much different, and even mechanically it didn't change a whole lot. They all had Ferrari's flat plane V12 engine, made around 380 horsepower, 360 foot-pounds of torque. That's not a lot by today's standard, but at the time it was a lot. 0 to 60 in around 5.2 seconds, a top speed, I think it was around, they claimed 186 miles an hour. It would actually do somewhere in the 170s, so I don't know if it's actually been certified or confirmed, but that's what they claimed. So at the time, it was a very popular car. Today, it's a pretty collectible car. Even though they made a lot of them, the parts on this car are really, really hard to get. So you don't see a whole lot of them on the road. If something was to damage, you have a really hard time getting the stuff to fix it. So after the Testarossa in '91, they came out with a car called a 512 TR. It's not a Testarossa, but it looks very, very similar. And a lot of times they get mistaken. So it'll have like an actual 512 TR on the back of the deck lid, where this will say Testarossa. So that about wraps it up. If there's anything I didn't cover or y'all want to know, just drop it in the comments, let us know. Be happy to answer it for you. So see you guys next time.